Jim Jackson, Fox NBA college basketball analyst, and he's got Indiana at Ohio State coming up on Saturday. You remember the first time you met Dr. J?
Oh, do I? Oh, it was unbelievable. 95, 94, 95. It was an all-star game in Phoenix. And I finally got it because I grew up a Dr. J fan. Okay, I wanted to have the afro. You remember Fisher State, Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Moses Guthrie. That's Dr. J. So, and when I met him, and I was listening to you guys talk about how smooth Doc is, it's unbelievable. When he walks in a room, it's just like poetry in motion. And I still got the picture I had when I shook his hand. He had some glasses on, and it was just one of those moments where I was like, man, I just met Dr. J, and we've become really close friends, since then. So it's surreal. One of my heroes growing up, man. Unbelievable human being.
And if I could attach soundtracks to certain athletes, like Miles Davis or Coltrane, would have been Dr. J.
No doubt. It'd have been something real smooth, dramatic, heavy bass line, but smooth. With Doc just moving, man. He's still like that. Cause we got good friends, especially over the time covering the Big Three. And so he's a big cigar smoker like I am. So just hanging out with him, hearing the stories about back in the day, about his progress, through the ABA and NBA, is nothing like it, man. To this day, smoothness.
All right,
personified.
Help me understand what's going on with Luka from the standpoint of everybody feels like it's open season on Luka.
Mm-hmm.
That he whines a lot. Got another technical. He's, doesn't play defense. It's now being exposed because every Laker game is under the microscope.
Always.
Okay, where is this headed with Luka and the Lakers?
It's tough, Dan, because we're not privy to the day-to-day operations every day in practice, the conversation. So you want to take pause to that a little bit and try not to evaluate everything by what you think you know and see. Now, optically, it doesn't look good. Optically, it was the same thing in Dallas with Luka, with his body language at times, with his persistence to always complain about fouls to the official. That's always been there. Now, it's been some other players that have been like that in the past too. But with Luka now being with the Lakers as well, the expectations, it just draws the ear of a lot of people. Now, keep in mind, this is a situation too, because of the trade situation. The Lakers have to figure this out with Luka. That was one of the big things when the trade went through. It was like, okay, yes, we got the trade, but the Lakers still got to convince Luka that this is the ultimate and the final landing spot, to sign his deal. So how that interaction between he and JJ, he and new management continue to foster itself is very important to the future of this franchise, okay? Because they put all eggs in one basket, basically, by going to get Luka. So they got to figure out a way to make it work. But it doesn't look good optically with what's going on. I'm not talking about he and JJ having some words on the sideline. Players and coaches do that all the time. That's nothing new. But optically, his body language doesn't look good.
Does it ever help complaining to an official?
In your mind as a player, yes. It does. But sometimes, old school officials, the Earl Stroms of the world, the Dick Vivettas, you can go up and talk to. Okay. And they'll tell you, like, okay, enough is enough. This is it. This is what's going to happen. Or they'll tell you, I missed that one. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that today's officials don't do it, but it was a different kind of relationship back then.
Yeah, but Jim, talking to an official and whining to an official, big difference.
Okay. What about yelling? Because Mike yelled at a lot of officials.
Yeah.
Magic did. Isaiah did. All the guys,
I know the legends.
Kobe did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kobe did.
Yes.
Kobe did.
Larry did. Yes.
Yeah, Larry did. Yes. But you're saying whining. And I think with Luka, it's gone overboard and a lot of officials are tired of it. They really are. But they don't tech him up. So if they're tired of it, tech him up.
Yeah, but he's on the precipice of being suspended with his technicals.
Well, I mean, sometimes you got to go to extreme
I mean,
measures
he's
in
not
order for
Rasheed
somebody.
Wallace.
No, but you know what? Now Rasheed got a text and he knew it. Okay, but the officials made it a point too with Rasheed that if you continue to do this, boom, you're out. They don't do that with Luka. See the difference?
So you think if they say, "Hey, one more, you're gone."
Yeah, tell them. Say, Luka, okay, enough is enough. Okay, one more. I got what you're saying. You want the foul, but I can call the foul on the other end when you reached in and we didn't call it. Okay, I can do the same thing. Now, how do you want it? How do you want to play this? Okay, I think you just got to be raw and honest with the player because you got to give certain players you're going to give respect to, and they deserve it. Nothing. You just tell them like, now you're on my butt for this, but I could have called this a couple of times down here and I didn't. Not that I'm playing favorites, but I'm trying to let the game go. So it's the same thing on the opposite end. That's old school refereeing right there. That's what that. Okay, so now as a player, you got to make a decision. Okay, do I really need to keep complaining and putting him in a situation or the officials in a situation where now they're going to kick me out or give me another check? Now that's on me because they told me exactly what is going to happen. If I continue down this path, it's on me.
Can you make Luka play defense?
At times he has, but as a player, that goes back to not only just the coaching staff, but his teammates, how much respect he has to really want to play this game. At the end of the day, Dan, that's all it is. And again, I'm not saying, and I don't think anybody's saying that he has to be the best defensive player, that he has to be a lockdown defender, but you got to give the effort. You just can't lay on the screen. You just can't not run back after you take a bad shot and not get back in transition. You cannot not rotate over to take a charge or step in and help your teammates. That's something individually. That's something that, his teammates got to expect out of him and vice versa. He has to want to give that to his team. I played with Steve Nash. He'll tell you he wasn't the best defender, but he gave the effort. And that's what all teammates want to see is that just give me the effort.
Do you think Steve Nash could guard me?
Oh, he'll lock you down, Dan. I mean, he'll get up underneath you all day long. That one step you got to the side, he'll take that away. He'll send you left all day.
But I'm going to take him down low.
So, I mean, not the first time that Steve got posted up. Hey, Steve would be like, help, double, over here.
We're talking to Jim Jackson, Fox NBA college basketball analyst. Can Wemby steal the MVP?
You know what? That's a great question because of the position that they're in right now. I don't think he can this year. I don't think his numbers stack up to individually. Okay, individually. To those of SGA, Jokic, Cade Cunningham. Now, here's the difference too: is that I know a lot of conversation has been about SGA and about MVP, most valuable player. Okay, to their team. Numbers sometimes don't tell it all. Steve Nash, when he won back-to-back, Kobe's numbers on the back end of that were better. But Steve's value to the team, but that's what it was based on, Kobe's value to the team. SGA, even though when he was absent, OKC continued to win. It's a difference with Wemby when he's out of the lineup. That's how I think they start to determine MVP. But I really love Cade, what Cade is doing. I mean, unbelievable job there in Detroit. Honestly, I would love to see him be rewarded if they have the best record because his value to that team is multiplied a lot by what he does. Kind of like with Jokic at times, even though they went 10-6 when he was out. It's something about, but I think Wemby definitely is in the conversation. I don't think he'll, even if they end up being second best record, I still don't think he'll get it this year.
Well, we have that 65 game threshold. And if Joker misses one more game, he's out. If SGA misses a few more games, he's going to be out. Would you be okay by default that Cade Cunningham, because he played more than 65 games, is the MVP?
Of course, and that's why you put it in. I think, I want to ask you too, what do you think about the 65-game rule? Because here's my thought on this, is that if you're going to put that rule in, you have to let this thing play out and have players understand that it is a consequence. Now, sometimes it's not against it's not their fault that they get hurt. But this has to be a pain point to a lot of players where they make it so that they are on the court. So you can't all of a sudden after 1 or 2 years just change it, because now it doesn't do anything. If the 65-game rule is going to be put into effect, and these are the number of games that you have to play in order to receive the awards at the end of the year, you got to make it stick. You got to make it a pain point for players that they understand there's a penalty if I don't adhere or can't adhere to this. You can't just all of a sudden change it.
I know. But in all transparency, I'm the one that brought it up to the commissioner that I thought that he needed to have a number so you had guys who were going to play hard. And if you're going to be eligible for postseason honors, and that you played at least 65 games. So
you did that?
Yeah.
No, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, the Players Association, all of that, they have to agree to it too. It's not something that Adam Silver can just lay down the law and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. So obviously it was discussed and negotiated and agreed upon. And I think it needs to stay in place if that's what they're going to do, to have players understand this is the threshold in which you must pass in order to receive awards at the end of the year. And it has to stick.
I know we're creeping up to March Madness here. You got Indiana and Ohio State on Saturday. What was worse, that you were in the Elite Eight and you lost in overtime, or that you lost in overtime to Michigan?
It wasn't the fact that it was Michigan, because you have to think about it. At the time, our rival was Indiana. It wasn't Michigan. We beat Michigan twice that year. But it goes back to the 1989 Final Four. Well, yeah, Final Four. It was Illinois and Michigan. Illinois that year beat Michigan twice during the regular season. Michigan won that game and went to the national championship, ended up winning. It just tells you how difficult it is to beat a team. Now, us being in the same region was kind of ironic. But when we watched that team play, there was a different team than what we played earlier in the year, from the first game to the second game to where they were at. They matured, they grew, they got more confident. And the onus was on us because we were the number one seed to win. No pressure was on Michigan. So, yes, it hurt. It hurt, and not just because it was Michigan. It's because we had a chance to go to a Final Four, to accomplish something that a lot of teams don't get a chance to. That was more disappointing than actually who we lost to.
You ever bring this?
I still can't watch the game to today, because to this day, Dan, I'm hoping for a different outcome, and for some reason it just doesn't happen.
I think you run it back. Can you get everybody together and run it back?
Man, that'll be an ugly game, brother. It'd be an ugly game.
But when you run into these Michigan guys, do they remind you?
No, because I played. They're some of my best friends. I played with Juwan in Houston. I played with Chris in Sacramento. Jimmy King was a free agent. Came down to camp in Dallas. Ray Jackson and I are good friends. Jalen and I worked out in the summertime, did a lot of stuff. So actually, when they went to the Final Four, what was that? Trey Burch year, 2016. 17. I forget when they lost to Louisville. They were in San Antonio. I was there. I was with the group. I was, they're really close friends of mine. And I respect each one of them, man. I mean, each one of them. Really great guys, man. Give the shirt off their back to you.
Great to see you. Thanks again.
Always great to see you too, man. Work on that post-up game. I'm going to tell Steve.
I'm not afraid of Steve Nash. I'm not afraid. I'm just saying.
Shots taken. I'm just telling you.
I shoot better deeper than he does.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll leave it right there. I'm taking that message to Steve.
If you don't give it, I will. I'm telling the country right now.
No, you are.
Steve Nash, mid-range jumper. Mid-range jumper Steve is what I called him. He's not out there. I mean, great percentage from three-point.
Right.
Just saying, mid-range jumper Steve.
All right. Nick, he's going to nick you to death.
They called me Danny Deep. Danny Deep. Thank you, Jim.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Jim Jackson, Fox NFL College Basketball.
All right, man. He's not buying any of that.
He thinks I'm joking.
All right,
I'm not joking.
He hopes you're joking.
Yeah.
I just love the all right, man.
He thinks I should be joking. Right now, texting Steve Nash. He'll be working Indiana at Ohio State on Saturday with Fox.